Alright, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely night, wherever you're from. And real quick, before we get started, I want to give a lovely shout out to the channel members on this channel. So thank you so much to these lovely commanders here that you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for your guys' generosity and your support. As always, it really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much. And if you're actually interested in becoming a lovely commander yourself, if you are interested in any of these cute and lovely emotes, the loyalty crown badges, if you want a special role in the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, if you choose to do so, thank you so much. Just remember that's not the only way that you can support me. Just watching the content like you are right now is truly the best way. Liking, subscribing, and commenting, everything really does help. So thank you guys so much. And for today's video, after doing my polls last night, getting some good amount of rest, enjoying this event, I don't know about you guys, but this Christmas story has been a lot of fun. Different, and I love it. All the game references, loving the story, the way that they're approaching it. I love seeing the interactions with all the characters, and the fact that it's another voiced event is really nice. Now, I'm playing in JP. I know there's a lot of voice changes for EN, unfortunately, and I know it's turning some people off. But for me, because I'm doing JP, I'm just enjoying the voices, and I love it. I love all the game references, whether it's in the mini game, the little pictures, or within the story themselves. I think Shift Up really cooked with this event, and I'm having a blast with it. As for my polls, if you watched my video, they went really well, and I actually managed to get MLB relatively fast. Really thankful for that. And when it came to testing, I've done a little testing off screen, and she is insane. There's a lot to cover real quick, so let's actually just get started, because I want to talk about Maiden herself real quick. So, my investment, obviously I have her MLB, Bond level 30, in the Synchro level 446. OL gear is all 0, and I don't really have the best lines by any means. I got a lot of attack and crit, but unfortunately, I don't really have any good, elemental attack lines, unfortunately. And I'm also using Resilience Cube on her. Now, you can actually use Vigor Cube if it's leveled up enough, if you really invested in it, but mine's only level 6, and honestly, I'd rather just give her Resilience, just so she could get all those bonus stats from the cube. So, as usual when it comes to these, either Resilience or go with Vigor if you actually have it leveled enough. I think that's a good alternative. Now, as for the skills, I'm actually going 7-10-7. Now, before I break it down, you can actually go 4-7-4 if you want to, if you have a budget. But your priority here is the skill 2. I highly recommend it because this is where all of the buffing is going to come from to help Cinderella. But before I talk about skill 2, let's actually go in order and talk about skill 1 with meditation. Because her MP is a little weird, honestly. So during maintenance, they actually highlighted the fact that they forgot to put in how much she can have. And she can have a maximum of 12 MP. Unfortunately, though, throughout all my testing, she's only ever gotten to 2. Now, watching Sephi and stuff, Mika just does not work, unfortunately, and it's kind of weird. And I have not tested with Bunny Alice because Bunny Alice only works with Water Code. And also, Flora is out of my Synchro, so I don't even want to test with her because it'll probably be rough. So if you have Flora and you actually have her decently invested, let me know how the stacking works. But for me, I was never able to go past 2, which is weird. And also, you can accumulate more by using Tia to try to re-enter because you've already entered it. So you only get it once. So you can't bypass that either. And when it comes to skill 2, her damage as strong element going up 40.9% for 10 seconds is absolutely insane. And the attack going up based on the caster's attack is also huge. And also affecting herself. Her skill 2 is really where this all shines. Her burst, though, also can do really good, but it's also calculated based on final max HP, especially with her attacks. So you really want to make sure, that's why Vigor can work here, because max HP is really huge with Maiden. And that's why this works really well with a Rouge team, because now Rouge doesn't just help Cinderella, but also it helps Maiden. Now, when it comes to testing, we're going to be testing electric comp that you would have with Summer Niece as well, just to show the differences in between them. Because if we actually go to the Union shooting range, we're just going to actually go test the electric week because we're just focusing on elemental advantage here. We're not going to do off element. This is just going to be a straight up just good stress test. And we're going to use Summer and Niece first. We're going to be using Crown because she's just an overall great buffer for everybody. Naga to keep Crown skill 2 proccing. Cinderella and Rouge for that max HP. And we're going to have Summer and Niece just buffing electric. So when it comes to Summer and Niece, what we're trying to compare is Maiden's skill 2. And we're trying to compare her skill 1 for Summer and Niece, because that's where this goes for the electric allies. So with all that out the way, let's just get started. And we're just going to do a 3-minute boss, just shooting range. And we're going to focus on that because I think it's pretty huge. And I feel like because of Maiden, the way she is, it brings an opportunity to create 2 teams, which is absolutely wild. So in a similar vein, what we're going to do is once we get Cinderella to get her burst going off, we're going to check really quick, because from there, what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking for sparkling boost, I think, right here. This is from Summer Anise. So this is what's going to keep her being like really good damage. So in comparison to Maiden, while we're looking for skill 2, we're going to be focusing on the skill 1. So what I'm going to do is actually just let the 3 minutes go by, and then I'm going to come back, and then we'll look at the results. So give me 1 second. Alright, and we're winding down now, getting to the final last moments to see where this ends up. And as for Summer Anise, when we look at the results here, Crown did 400 million, Naga did 281 million, Cinderella doing 3.3 billion. Crazy numbers. Cinderella is absolutely broken. Rouge, 400 million. Summer Anise doing almost 1.2 billion here. So, you know, as always, Summer Anise is just a really good powerhouse and a buffer as well. So now that we know about the comparison, we can actually go take a good look and just compare when it comes to Maiden. So let's head on over and actually just go do that. So what we're looking for is honestly just like a difference, just at least to satisfy the buffing requirements. Because if that can happen, that means you can free up Summer Anise so she could go back to another electric team that's already completed for her, which is going to be dope. Electric eats really good. And unfortunately, I feel like other elements are just kind of dying. They're kind of drowning for something good. So hopefully, you know, we take a break from electric, because it seems like Shift Up really likes electric. Kind of crazy, but we've gotten a lot of electric this year, especially past the Annie. So we'll have to see. So what we're looking for with Maiden is actually going to be her skill 2, which is Blessings Upon You. And Cinderella actually should be proccing that right now, which she is. So she's getting that strong element increase. So that's good. So now what we're going to do, just like before, we're going to cut back to when this finishes, and we'll go get a good look at the results. So 1 second. Alright, so we're winding down now to the final few seconds. We're about to see the results and compare right now, and I feel like it might be a little bit interesting. So we'll have to see. But when we compare, we see that we're only going to be focusing on Cinderella and Maiden. But if we're comparing what we just saw with Summer Anise, Summer Anise buffed Cinderella, and Cinderella had 3.38 billion last time. Now she's at 3.4 billion. So she got extra DPS, and Maiden was actually barely able to surpass Summer Anise, because Summer Anise had 1.194 billion, and now this is a clean 1.2 billion for Maiden. So that's insane how well she is performing, especially when Summer Anise has way better lines, way better gear levels, because I'm pretty sure she's at 5. So insane across the board. She is an absolutely good replacement for Summer Anise, but Summer Anise can still have her electric team with Exia and Ein and stuff and perform just as good. So 2 full teams because of Maiden is absolutely insane. And I feel like just for that alone, especially with the recent thing with Cinderella, I feel like she's a must pull. Not only that, but if you're competitive, you're definitely going to want to grab a copy, because elemental advantage is going to be crazy. And I want to see how this works like with Mirror Container in Anomaly. So I'm going to have to do that on my own. But really, really amazing results. What are my final thoughts when it comes to Maiden is that I think she's a must pull, and I think she's great. Not only in the waifu aspect, but she looks absolutely amazing with her performance as well. I think they cooked for once. I think she's about like a 0.5, I think she's in the same vein as probably like Quincy, Drunk Scarlet now, in terms of just like viability and usability. Honestly, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Don't know why people are so skeptical a lot, because once again, I feel like people were skeptical with Maiden and we're like, nah, it's just gonna be alright. And I feel like a lot of people don't know what they're talking about, and it ends up just being great. So once again, don't listen to people. Just always do testing, but she's absolutely phenomenal. But let me know what your guys' results are. Are you guys happy with Maiden? Because I know I am. But that's going to be it for me. So I hope you guys have a lovely day, lovely night, wherever you're from. And as always, thank you guys so much for the constant support. You guys are truly the best. Take care and have a good one.